кошут.
Ukrainian Special Operations Forces carried out a high-precision deep strike operation on a storage and launch area for Shahed attack drones near Cape Chauda in temporarily occupied Crimea. This location has been regularly used by Russian forces as a key hub for storing and launching various types of attack UAVs aimed at Ukrainian cities and civilian infrastructure. By striking the site, Ukrainian SOF disrupted another component of Russia's drone network, which continues to play a central role in its campaign of terror. The operation marks yet another example of Ukraine's asymmetric approach to undermining Russia's offensive capabilities across occupied territory. A Special Operations Forces representative emphasized the importance of the mission. Every strike that limits Russia's ability to launch drones is a step toward protecting our people. We will continue working methodically and precisely wherever the enemy thinks they are safe. SOF noted they remain committed to sustained deep strike actions behind Russian lines. Earlier, it was reported that Ukraine has for the first time used a domestically produced interceptor drone to destroy a Russian Garan 3, known internationally as the Iranian Shahed 238, during an overnight attack. Ukrainian strike drones hit the Oryol oil depot in Livny, Oryol region, Russia, sparking a fire. The strike on the facility is confirmed by local residents who filmed the blaze. According to their reports, at least 2 tanks are burning. At night, the Oryol region again came under a UAV attack, which caused a fire at fuel and energy facilities in the Livny district, reported Andrei Klitschkov, the region's governor. According to the official, there were no casualties, and emergency ministry personnel are working at the scene, carrying out the necessary response and cleanup measures. In the Russian city of Livny, the Oryol oil depot is located, which was already attacked by drones earlier on January 24, 2025. The company is engaged in storing and in wholesale and retail distribution of petroleum products in the region. Meanwhile, the defense ministry of the aggressor country claimed that during the night of December 2nd, their air defense allegedly shot down 1 Ukrainian drone over the Oryol region territory. Ukraine carried out a record number of attacks on strategic Russian oil infrastructure last month. The increase comes amid U.S. efforts to promote peace talks, Bloomberg reported. Ukrainian forces used drones to strike Russian oil refineries at least 14 times in November, the highest monthly number since the start of the war. In addition, there were 4 attacks on oil loading facilities in the Black Sea, as well as explosions involving tankers carrying Russian oil. Late last week, Ukraine struck 2 tankers in the Black Sea. A third vessel, which had previously carried Russian oil, suffered 4 external explosions off the coast of Dakar, Senegal. Over the weekend, naval drones damaged one of the 3 berths at the Caspian Pipeline Consortium terminal, the largest export route for Russian and Kazakh oil. According to the report, the berth sustained serious damage and can no longer operate. The consortium confirmed that any further operations at this berth are impossible. As a result, the terminal is operating with only 1 berth, as another is undergoing scheduled repairs that may continue until mid-January due to seasonal storms in the Black Sea. On November 29th, a fire also broke out at the Afipsky refinery in Krasnodar Krai following a Ukrainian attack. According to the regional operational headquarters, the fire covered about 250 square meters and damaged some technical equipment at the facility. There were no reports of damage to the storage tanks. Armed Russian troops were moving illegally through Ukrainian territory, passing the burnt-out vehicles of their colleagues. "It's all right, we're used to it," the man filming remarks, seconds before an explosion cuts him off.
We're driving from the PZ through all this slush, so we drove out, delivered mines, provisions, and all that stuff. And then on the way, we ran into our colleagues.
Yes.
The Chepericha burned it down now, so we could also somehow get burned here. And here, basically, there's always an entire graveyard everywhere, burnt out cars, just burnt out.
Our cable also broke. Fifth, he revs it up like this, then shifts the gears. He lets go of the gas and grabs the wheel again.
We don't have power steering, so we have to turn the wheel together on those really sharp bends. In a nutshell, that's pretty much how things are for us. But it's all right. We actually kind of enjoy it.
A video showing alcoholics, newly recruited into the Russian army, has attracted scorn, concern, and even some compassion from Russian war bloggers. They suggest that the men will be deliberately killed for being useless when they arrive at the front. "We are Russians, we don't care," comments that this video is far from being a unique case, a fact that other war bloggers have confirmed. If you think these are just the most hopeless ones, then I have some bad news for you. These are only the ones that got busted. The House Among the Laurels Telegram channel writes, "Oh, this war and its long duration, during which unknown meanness and a multitude of gray schemes have proliferated, options for greedy profits among participants in or close to the frontline communities. There are black widows who find themselves husbands who are dying, or black commanders who don't report missing persons and then appropriate their bank cards, thus echoing the dead souls of the famous Russian classic. And then there are the black healers, and the wounded frontline soldiers who fall under their control, who know the value of certificates. In fact, there are many other such things, which degenerated into gray schemes throughout the war. While some schemes fade away, their sisters emerge in other forms, drawn by the same prophets. I probably wouldn't even have mentioned it if I hadn't seen a video the other day. The latter depicts our rear zone, where some half-dead recruits are being held. They are apparently in a boot camp, and their appearance immediately suggests that before ending up at the border, these men had led an associative lifestyle and were hardened alcoholics. One of them, apparently incapacitated, claims to have been forced to sign a contract. It's hard to doubt these claims, as the bespectacled man is completely useless, just like his comrades, who, drunkenly, decided to join the army. And yes, most likely, most of these men were rounded up, taken away, and by force, or without force, forced to check the box. They certainly wouldn't have made it to the recruiting office on foot, and in fact, they wouldn't have thought to go there. You look at them like that, and you realize it's yet another scheme, one that involves both profit and a sacrifice, from whom apparently this very profit was exacted. Either one of the district police officers was adjusting the statistics, or someone else was misappropriating the sign-up fees for the contract, and that too is very possible. In short, someone, yes, managed to get what they deserved from each of these soldiers. And perhaps the most important question, what to do with such people at the front if they're no good? Honestly, even despite the sternness of the video's author and the fairness of the educational moment, I still felt sorry for these men. Even with all their dissoluteness and outward depravity, it's obvious that these people were simply deceived. And what will happen to them next? Yes, in general it's clear. No one will tolerate or keep them for long. They will start getting rid of them. They will be transferred from place to place as a walking problem, and then they'll send them to the front. And there, there'll also be a walking problem, disposed of. That's why I feel sorry for them. They're useless, a terrible disaster for the commanders, and they themselves will die, one might say, from their own unnaturalness. And yes, I suppose the reader will ask, what use are they in everyday life? To which I'll answer that maybe none, but such people are not needed at the front either. It's one thing when a peasant with a glimmer of reason in his eyes joins the ranks of the army and then disgraces it. With these, yes, with all due severity, but with these weaklings, there is no accountability at all. They have become victims of some yet another gray scheme. The blogger's comments about how the men ended up there are almost certainly accurate, as the thread below explains in more detail.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week gets 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.